The trends in farming are undeniable. Farm income down, the number of farms down dramatically in recent years. It is inescapable. Original farm owners are older, far fewer people living on farms than a century ago. So, who is to take over as farmers look ahead into their sunset years? Today, a story of revival, at least for one family in Kansas. While some have left, others are returning, a conduit from the past to the future. Here's John Torpy.
Across the rural landscape of the United States, the number of people making small towns their home has been shrinking in recent years. An aging population, along with technological advances in agriculture, have contributed to the decline of the family farm as we know it. According to the USDA, the average age of a U.S. farmer is 68. Many of those who have spent a lifetime working the land are retiring without anyone in place to step up and fill the void. On a sprawling farm in central Kansas, one family is working to buck that trend, trading in a comfortable urban life for a rural one that promises hard work, long days, and a chance to grow a life steeped in long-standing traditions. Joni Embry Minders grew up outside a small rural town in central Kansas, where her family has been farming for 3 generations. After graduating high school in 1997, Joni set her sights on a life closer to the city. After earning a dental hygienist degree, she spent the better part of 2 decades working and raising 3 children with her husband Zach in Des Moines, Iowa. Visits back to the farm brought on a sense of fondness for rural life and the many lessons she learned as a child.
We both have farming backgrounds, and we have always wanted to raise our kids in the same environment that we were raised.
During trips back home, the future of the farm became a frequent conversation. Embry Minders' grandfather, John Young, is 88 years old. Her uncle Greg and father Alan are closer to retirement age, and the next generation to run the farm was nowhere in sight.
When we went back for Christmas this last year, my grandpa said, "It's time for somebody to come in and help, and it's got to be you."
Embry Minders is now embarking on a journey to work alongside her grandfather, her father, and her uncle. The trip home goes beyond helping the generation that came before. It's also about training the next generation that she brings with her. Embry Minders' son, Colby, has always shown a strong interest in farming. Her plan is to be the conduit for his future on the farm.
That's my happy place down there, and it's really cool because, we're going to be around family that we haven't been around lately. I just kind of expect that we're gonna get this done, and we're gonna be happy down there.
That's on the guides on the sickle.
When Joni's grandfather started farming 60 years ago, the home place was a mere fraction of what it is today. The farm is now a mixed crop and livestock operation with around 150 head of cattle and roughly 3,000 acres of row crops.
I had a really burning desire to farm, but I didn't have much of a start there. The equipment back in that time, this was after World War II, was old and decrepit, and the finances were about the same way. It was very difficult for a poor boy that didn't have any money to buy land, and the competition to rent ground, as it always is, was very intense. So it was a slow process to put it together.
That slow process would involve the help of Young's 2 sons, Alan and Greg, who have worked with their dad as partners since the operation was put into a trust just over 2 decades ago. Coming back to the farm has presented a long list of challenges. Both Joni and Zach are leaving successful careers in Des Moines, and their children are being uprooted from an established routine.
Them making that decision helped us make that decision to move forward. So, and this, like Joni said before, it's really for the kids. So if that opportunity is what they want to be able to do, which Colby, that's his main focus. So if that's what they want to do, at least that opportunity is there for them when they get older.
So what do you think them are, about 7/16?
Once on the farm, the couple faces a steep learning curve, catching up on how farming has changed in recent years.
It's definitely overwhelming. Just thinking about the fact that I have to learn to do what my grandpa does, who's been doing it for his entire life, is scary.
A little bit different. You're talking, it's been, pushing almost 17 to 18 years since I was actually working on a farm. So it's been a while. So there's a lot of things you got to remember, and sometimes it's the simplest things you got to remember you don't remember. So, but it's coming back, and it's an enjoyable process.
This life-changing journey for the Minders is grounded in values taught through a rural upbringing.
All I can do is to give them an opportunity. I can't guarantee their success, so it'll be up to them. And you have to like this business, or be crazy, one or the other. But if you like it, you're going to make that last trip to take care of livestock at night and the first one in the morning. And you're going to stay out there to harvest the crop when the lightning's flashing, and it might rain and ruin the crop that night. And all those things go with it.
The future for the young farmers involves building on that base to create a place for their children, as well as keeping the family operation alive.
There's the kids, but then there's my grandpa and that whole aspect, and that's why we're going back too, is so that we can hopefully make it continue to be everything that he built and wanted it to be.
That was John Torpy reporting. Nice to see those young kids embracing their futures so eagerly, isn't it?
It was. Happy endings are always good, or maybe we should say happy beginnings.